Hello and welcome. I am Scarberlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. I am starting a new character, a Brute. This character is a Dark Melee Energy Aura Brute. I was thinking about willpower, but I realized that energy is defense based and Dark Melee reduces enemies to hit, so those will stack really well. I've never done Energy Aura before, so I'm excited to do it. I think it'll be really cool because I like the visuals. And so we have a character here. It's female again. I don't know. I was going to make it a male, and then as I started working on the origin, I decided it was a female. I don't know why. So her name is Amanda Quince. A little bit of play on words because her name is Quintessence Lass. I like Lass. I like Lad. It's awesome, so I'm keeping that. Sticking with that tradition. Quintessence is one of the different theories of dark energy, and I'm not going to get into the details of it because it's not really relevant. These are superheroes. Amanda Quince was a graduate student working in the Paragon University Physics Department, where she was working on a project to harness the power of dark energy. Late one night, Nemesis soldiers attacked when Amanda was working alone in the lab. One of their explosive shells detonated near her, and she was hurled back into the dark energy absorbitron, which is the machine she was working on, and we're not going to worry about what that does, because it was destroyed. The machine exploded, and Amanda walked away, not only alive, but filled with the power of dark energy. Having seen what the villains can do to the powerless, she swore to fight against Nemesis and all the other criminals that plague Paragon City, taking the name Quintessence Lass. And so now she's a graduate student, but she's also a superhero. And so now we're going to play the tutorial, because I always play the tutorial. So we're going to play the hero tutorial. I don't know what the neutral tutorial is, but she's not neutral, she's hero. Oh, sweet, that means we go to Outbreak. Yes, this is so much better. I love this origin. So this is Outbreak, and we are a superhero. But we're not going to keep the blue color, and I need to do a lot of options because this is all very small, because I'm working on really high res, so you will have to pardon me as we play around with some of our graphics and audio. Do we have the colors for the UI? Here. Somewhere in here are the UI colors, right? Chat bubble color, no. What's that? Here we go. So right now we're on a blue UI. We're going to go purple. So that means we need to bring the red up and the green down so we can match the purpleness of this character's stuff. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. We are having a purple character. All of her visual effects are going to be purple. And so let's see, we need to slot 9, and there's going to be her toggle. Actually, no, if it's a toggle, we're going to need another thing, and we're going to put that right there. And then we can move this to button 2. 2 will have regular run in it. We're going to remove Prestige Power Slide because I don't like Prestige Power Slide. Keep this over here. What is this? Shadowy Presence, remove. DNA, remove. This stuff, remove. This is all nonsense. Self-destruction, PPOA. Well, you might want to keep that up. We're going to remove that. Punch, throw, dart. Okay, so we're just arranging our... I'm just arranging my UI, and I'll start talking about things in a little bit. So this is a brute character, and I'm not going to necessarily show every single detail of this character, but I definitely want to keep doing Let's Plays because some people seem to be enjoying them, enough people that I think I should keep doing it, and I'm having fun doing it, so we're going to keep going. So what I really need to do is change... I need to change the UI size. Screen UI resolution. No, I want to change the UI size. Where is that? Alright guys, I'm going to pause this while I find all these options because I haven't touched them in a while, and I'll bring you back as soon as I'm ready to go. Alright folks, we are back. So, our character starts here, and this is the traditional tutorial, which the last time I was playing on this server they did not allow you to do. So it looks like they must have gotten some complaints or people who asked to do this again. So Here we are in Outbreak. Um, Basics, if you haven't played the game before, the user interface is pretty easy. We have chat window on the lower left. We have our hotbar on the lower right. I also create an additional hotbar to the left hand side for toggles. So there are two types of powers. There are click powers and toggle powers. Click powers are things where you like target an enemy, you punch him, the power executes once. Toggle powers, you turn them on and leave them on. You sort of set it and forget it. So we turn on this kinetic shield, and then it stays on, and as long as this little circle is going around it, it's on, and our defenses have gone up. And speaking of that, um, we can put up some of our attributes. We are going to want to monitor our smashing defense, which is the same as lethal defense. They kind of go together generally. We're going to definitely want to monitor our energy defense. Whoops, what did I do? We're going to monitor, no, we're going to monitor our energy defense. We want to monitor our, I guess our fire defense, which is going to be the same as cold defense. We're going to also want to monitor our negative energy defense, which may be different from energy in this case. So we've got all of our defenses, and we're probably going to want to monitor status protection. So let's monitor hold protection. And we're going to want to monitor our recharge speed. And we're going to want to monitor our accuracy bonus. And we're going to want to monitor our, probably our regeneration rate. And we're going to stick that over here and just keep an eye on it. So with our aura up, we have smashing and lethal defense of 12% and an energy defense of about 2%. So let's go ahead and start the tutorial. So this is the character. You move forward with the W and A for back keys, and I spin with the mouse. That's how I do it. We can turn on sprint, which makes us run a little bit faster. One thing I like to do is open the map, and then you can click this little button to detach it, and then I shrink it a little bit and I put it over here so we can keep an eye on where we are. You can zoom in and you can see in the map that it lights up. It sort of uncovers the gray parts of the map are where you haven't been, and the colored parts are where you have been. And this little thing that's glowing is the first contact that we're supposed to talk to. So I'm not going to get into a huge amount of tutorials because you can watch the Scrapper video on that. I have done a full season, a full series of Scrapper, of Stalker, and of Mastermind, giving you the old school hero, the going rogue Praetorian, and the old school villain. And now we're going back to old school hero with a brute. It's a villain archetype, but they unlock those so that you can play them on the hero side long ago. And we're going to talk to Officer Flint, who says, we have a crisis going on here and we need help desperately. Some thugs took an experimental drug. It was something else. I'm thinking it was something else, and now they're trashing the area. We have to get control of this area. So we ask him for a mission, and now he's going to teach us how to use the reticle up here. This is kind of a navigation bar, and he tells us how to use the navigation bar. And basically the idea is as you spin around, it faces the direction south, north, east, and so forth, and there's a little dot for whatever you need. So we're going to accept the task, and he says go talk to Dr. Miller and deliver this serum to him. And the little asterisk appears up here, and if you click select task, it'll turn it red, and that's how you know that that's the mission you're on. And we run forward, and we come to this hospital here. I don't remember these police being here. That's interesting. They used to be drones. I guess they got rid of the drones because there are never any villains that come down this way. Don't know. So we talk to Miller, and he says, thank you for the sample. Since you're new to Paragon City, actually we're not, but okay, you should familiarize yourself with the way the hospitals work here. So we click on this, and this tells us that when you get beat up, you end up in the hospital. And if you go through this door, there's a little resurrection tank inside, like a Bacta tank from Star Wars Galaxies, and it will resurrect you. And that little thing going on is a police drone, and they will zap enemies and make them disappear, which makes you wonder why they need superheroes, since the police drones can just make the enemies disappear. So, anyway, we gotta go back to Officer Flint. I'm getting ahead of myself because I know this tutorial so well. We gotta go back to Officer Flint, who's gonna then tell us to go down the street and talk to one of the other police officers, and I so busy talking, I forgot that I hadn't gone back to him. So we'll go back to Officer Flint. In the main game, you eventually get the cell phone number of whoever you're dealing with, and they will then talk to you remotely. So he introduces us to a new officer, Officer Parks. And this is what happens in the game as you finish doing missions for one contact, usually more than one or two. They'll give you the name of another contact. Usually you get a set, once you get into the game after like 10th or 15th level, you get a set of approximately 5 contacts for each 5 level range. The game goes from level 1 to 50. Each contact usually gives you a story arc, and then that story arc will take you, gain you most of a level. And so when you've done 5 story arcs, you're most of the way through your 5 levels. So we then talk to Officer Parks, who says, "You must be Quintessence less." Yes, I am. "Sure hope you can help. First, let me explain how your powers work." So we're not going to talk to him about that. We'll just go ahead and take his mission, and he'll tell us what to do. And he wants us to talk to this guy, and this guy's going to say, "Practice your powers," and he talks about cons. We'll go through this as the game goes on, but there are different cons, from green, which is super easy to fight, 2 levels below you, to white, which is your level, to red, which is several levels above you. And as you get redder and into purple, which is very dangerous, it gets harder. There are also lieutenants and bosses in addition to minions, and lieutenants and bosses are higher ranked and are harder to defeat. So now one of the things I got to do is move this over here for a sec, because we have all these little pop-up helps, and I need to get rid of them. So you can't, it just doesn't want to get rid of it. Okay, so let me see if I can turn off the pop-up help. Let's see, general, miscellaneous, prompts, pop help, disable, go away. Alright, we shouldn't get any more of that. We don't need pop-up help. So we go to this officer here, and he says, "Beat up on some drones, and you can practice how this works." So we click on some drones. You can see it's an orange con, it's level 2 practice bot. And we beat him up, and punch, and melee attack. And what is this thing like? I don't know what that's doing. Oh, wow. That almost killed me. Interesting. Alright. Won't do that again. Let's remove that. Self-destruction, I see. Can we remove that from the tray? Alright, we're not going to do that again. Okay, we'll heal up, but in the meantime we talk to this guy, and he says, okay, so he told you how to consider your targets, conning targets. That's what happens when you target something and you're considering them by looking and getting their color. And now what I want you to do is go defeat 2 thugs. So now we have to wait a little bit because our health is really low and our regeneration isn't very good right now. And we may be being prevented from recovering. Oh, here it comes. You see how slowly it was going, and now it's going to move up faster. Our regeneration isn't great because we're a first level character. We should probably be okay to come in here, but we might get killed. And we're going to try to pull one guy. And yeah, we should be alright. Beat him up. Bam. And then beat up the next guy. They're not going to do too much to us because they're first level. You can get a badge if you stay in here long enough to beat up 100 of these guys. And I'm not going to do that because it's actually quite late at night. I've actually been, I should be going to bed, but I want to play this game, and I want to play this brute. So we'll try a little bit. So he introduces us to a new contact, and he explains to us that our health bar is at the top. This is the one that's gotten really low. Endurance is here. When the endurance runs down, you can't use anything. We actually have a third bar here called Fury, and as we punch things, that Fury will build up. And the more the Fury builds up, the stronger we get and the more powerful our attacks. So what you want to do as a brute, and this is awesome, is you just keep fighting and fighting and fighting without stopping. When you get hit or when you do damage, you gain some Fury. And so you just want to pound and never stop and just build that Fury, and you can hit harder than anybody else in the game if the Fury is all the way up to the top. It's very hard to get it all the way up to the top, but even if you get it up halfway, it's pretty good. All right, so we're going to come down here and talk to Sergeant Hicks, and Sergeant Hicks is going to give us some inspirations. And inspirations are little mini buffs that last for a minute or instantly heal you a little bit or something like that, and they just it gives you a little bit of a buff. So there are inspirations, and this inspiration will give us damage and let us do more damage, and this one will let us heal up. Now go defeat 4 contaminated, he says, and we run in here. And we're going to beat up some contaminated. So you can see we're doing 10 damage, and then 3 is like continuing damage. Right, if you watch again, bang, 10, and then, or 13 and 4, because now we've gotten our fury up, right? And if we punch again, oh, we missed. Alright, so now I'm going to add some damage. Now we're going to do massive damage to these guys. Look at that, 1 hit, and he's dead. Part of that's from the damage buff, and part of that's from the fury. So now we can head back to our buddy, and you can see our health has gone up. It's so weird watching it upticks so slowly when you don't have any regeneration buffs and stuff. I'm used to playing a character that's got stamina and other things like that to help buff their health. Okay, we're getting some experience. When we get to the top of this, when we get 10 beads of experience, we will get to level 2. We also got enhancement. We've got a bunch of these that I'm just going to throw out. These are just generic things that normally you didn't get in the game during live, and I don't want these things, so we're just going to get rid of them. Makes the game too easy. I like playing it on hard mode. This thing allows more damage. I'm not going to bother putting it in because I'd rather have accuracy in my attacks at low level than damage, because I don't like to miss. Alright, so this is going to tell us about enhancements. Enhancements just improve your powers. So each power can have up to 6 slots. We start with 1, and you can add more as you level up. And you can put these enhancements, so like this would increase our damage by 8% if we stuck it in there. Then it gets locked in and you can't take it back out. Although you can take it back out nowadays, they do have enhancement unslaughters. And we have some emails waiting for us where there are some character items we can grab that will make us actually super powerful. And I don't want to use those right now, so we're not going to do that. Where do we get them from? Those are veteran rewards. So if you look, my character has all these veteran rewards because I've been playing for, I guess, close to, well, it's not been 64 weeks, but they give you 1 a week, and then they give us some extra ones for the holidays. And I've actually got an extra veteran reward I can click on here and gain, like, super packs that give you all kinds of reward merits and things like that. But for a first level character, you don't really need that. And I'm getting ahead of myself again. I wanted to go talk to Coyote, who's my favorite NPC in the game. But first we had to go back to Sergeant Hicks because we had talked about enhancements. We had read about enhancements over here. So now we get introduced to Coyote, and he gave us another enhancement. Did he give us anything good? No, it's more damage. I don't want damage. I want accuracy. So now we're going to go to Coyote, and he's going to give us our first door mission, which is going to show you how to do the tailored indoor missions. You enter a door, get onto a random map with a random set of enemies that are scaled to your level and group size. So for us, it'll be a level 1 mission. Coyote is an awesome character. He was actually based on a guy whose form name was Coyote, and he passed away. The actual player was very active on the beta forums, and then right as the game launched, he passed away. And the developers contacted his family and said, we would like to put a character in the game named after your son's forum name so that he is always remembered. And they put this character in the game. So I love that Outbreak is back now on Rebirth, and you can go through it, because you couldn't go through it before. You had to go through the neutral one. And I like that we can see Coyote again. Right, and it talks about Matthew Bragg, who is the actual name of the guy who was Coyote on the forums. So he says, okay, what he's telling us is that the Outbreak drug is in one of these buildings, and Flower Knight, who is a young hero like us, has gone in to try and deal with it, but Flower Knight is missing, and so she's probably in trouble. So we got to go help her, and then she can join us for our adventure once we help her. So sometimes she's near the beginning of this mission, sometimes she's near the end. There's a little bit of randomness involved. So she's not at the beginning. Oh, there she is. Yes, she is at the beginning. Now these guys are yellow cons because they're one level above us. We're going to level very quickly in here, and Flower Knight will help us. And you can see the other guys are level 1. Okay, I'm going to turn off the sprint because we don't need to run around much in here, and we'll start punching. Now, Flower Knight can't help us until we free her from her kidnappers. She's just going to stand there and cheer for us. But once we free her from her kidnappers, she will help us. Thank you, Flower Knight. You're welcome. Let's go. You coming? Alright. So now these guys are dancing a tune, and they're being a little crazy. Flower Knight will now shoot her arrows at us and help us out. At them and help us out. So notice we did like 11 damage per hit. Now we're doing more when we punch. And there is a humming noise that is coming from where? Upstairs? Or from the back here? Sounds very loud back here. There it is. So this is a computer, and you click on it. This is called a glowy. It's a little clue. And you search through the computer, and it gives you a clue, and the clue tells us that we've got the formula now. I'm not reading all this stuff because I've done this many, many times. So you have to find the formula. We've done that, and defeat all thugs. So now we're going to beat up the thugs. So I just got done doing a run of a mastermind, and I enjoyed doing that. I did like the mastermind. It's a very cool character, but I have to tell you, I am so glad to be back to doing melee, to beating up villains with my own fists and not relying on my allies. And yeah, I just love running up to villains and punching them in the face. That's awesome. So we head out of the mission, and now we're going to have to talk to Coyote again. And we can turn on our sprint. And he's just over here. Now these streets are empty because this is the tutorial, but when you get into the main game, you will often find villains bugging people on the street and stuff like that, and then you can randomly beat them up. He says, alright, you're ready to go, you're ready to level up, go visit Ms. Liberty in Atlas Park, so off we go to one of my favorite zones, Atlas Park. It's got some of the best music in the game, and it's a really pretty zone. I am so glad to be back in Paragon City, where it's bright and sunny in most zones, and I get to be a hero again. Super happy to do that, and I'm super happy to be in the main thrust of the game rather than the alternate tutorial, because the alternate tutorial gives you a bunch of contacts that I don't really like, and we're getting Matthew Hashaby anyway, so I guess I'm kind of stuck with that. I really would rather do the tutorial where you go inside the city hall and get missions from those guys, but I guess we're not going to be doing that. Ms. Liberty, train to a new level of power. We train up to the next level, so we get a dampening field, which is always on and costs no endurance, but what I want is Shadow Maul. This is the power that I took Dark Melee to get. I love Shadow Maul. It's an awesome, awesome power. It's my favorite melee attack animation in the game, just about. Well, some of the martial arts ones are pretty darn cool too, but I love this melee animation. And away I go. So it's unfortunate that we can't go and talk to the people inside Paragon City Hall, so now we're going to have to do this chain of missions that I utterly despise, but that's okay. So Matthew Hashaby is talking about how, so now if we'd been in the other tutorial, we were in Galaxy City, which was the other starting zone like Atlas Park, and they put 2 starting zones in when the game launched because there were too many players on the servers, and they wanted to separate us so that we were doing missions in different zones and we weren't all doing them in Atlas Park. Even though they instanced the game, I guess it still helped the servers to have things spread out and give people different starting points. As the game matured and got older, they didn't need multiple starting zones anymore, so they decided to change Galaxy City into something that's been like destroyed by an alien invasion, and so now you can't go to Galaxy City anymore. But Matthew Hashaby, I think, was working with the recovery of Galaxy City, and so this is going to continue the story that we didn't see in the neutral tutorial, where Galaxy City was destroyed. So, demons and gangsters. So here we go, right? He says, man, as if we didn't have enough problems with Galaxy City, the Hellions are terrorizing a neighborhood nearby. The majority of the Paragon Police Department are too busy trying to contain the situation, and we've got a ton of refugees. We need your help. So we're going to help her. And so he says, apparently, the guys that are doing this are demon worshippers, so we've got to take care of them. One thing I do want to check, can we find any other contacts? No, we cannot. Okay. I just wanted to see if maybe we could get to the people inside Paragon City, but it looks like we can't. So, we need to go and fight the Hellions. The Hellions are a gang that rules the streets of Alice Park, I guess, kind of. There are some Hellions over... Looks like there were some Hellions over here. Yep, there's some Hellions over here. You can see. And so we're going to beat up some as we go. Oh, there's a lot of them. It's not that we can't do it, but it's going to take forever if we try to beat all these guys up. So I'm going to kind of go around. Oh, well, we got to fight these guys because we aggroed them. And here's Shadow Mall. I love that. I just absolutely love it. It's an area effect attack, so if you line it up right, you can beat up multiple guys at once. But I don't even care about that. I just like the animation. Here we go. We're going to get them both. I love it. And I defeated them both in one shot. That is so awesome. Let's see if we can avoid these guys. Oh, man. So, this is just to defeat a number of Hellions. Okay, that's no problem. This guy's a lieutenant, so we'll kick his butt. And we aggroed some of these guys. These are blue cons, so they'll be super easy to defeat. Now you can see our defenses are going down when they shoot you. Some of the guns make your defense go down. So we found a clue, and we got to go back to Matthew. So these guys are going to keep attacking me, so I'll just beat them up. Notice one shot. You can just crush when you're a brute. And now, right, we position and we defeat them all. Right, missed one guy. It's super annoying to miss with that attack because then you're just locked in the animation missing. And a lot of people hate that, but I don't care because I love the animation. And I'll take it. We got some new powers at second level. In addition to the Shadow Mall, we also got Inherent Fitness, Swift Health, Stamina, and Hurdle. So our endurance and our health should regenerate much faster. Probably don't need that. That's an endurance inspiration, but we probably won't need that for a while. And so he says... Thanks, Quintessence Labs. The PPD are on the scene now in our hailing situation. Hellions said something about Alice Park being next to fall. Seriously? Can't we catch a break? Looks like we're not out of the woods yet. Ask for available missions. This will probably be our last mission of the evening because I need to get to bed. And it's been about a half hour. So it sounds like the Hellions are planning something big, or they know something big's about to happen. I'll admit, I'm kind of new to this whole business. I think I have an idea of what we can do next. What are you thinking? And he says, Officer Nelson is taking care of the PPD's cleanup. He'll know if anything else is going on. Oh yeah, and here's my cell phone. You can contact me at any time. So we need to go speak with Officer Nelson, who's going to give us another assignment, it looks like. Well, I love this game. The three-dimensionality of it. I've mentioned this in other playthroughs. I love how the game is fully 3D. So once you are, flying or super jumping, you can get as high up as the zone goes. Officer Nelson says, Quintessence Labs, right? I really like the name Quintessence Labs. It's great. I heard you're responsible for helping us to take back this area. We appreciate it. You and Matt are doing a lot of good for the city. You can set an example for those lazier heroes. It's a shame that his wife Dana died in Galaxy. But anyway, we could use your help. So, wait, his wife died? Didn't he tell you? Doesn't surprise me. He's a very focused guy. I don't know the details. All I know is He said she didn't make it. If you want to know more, I'd ask him. And I said, will do. What can you tell me about the Hellions? And he says, the Hellions are over in Prometheus Park right now, and we've got reports they've kidnapped several people. Go help them. All right, leave it to me. Now, of course, Matthew's wife is, spoiler alert, not dead. Matthew's wife is very much alive, and we have the possibility of saving her in one of the future missions. But first, we've got to go help these people. By the way, when I designed this character, I gave her a cape, and it would not allow me to enter character to leave character creation. So somehow or other, we're gonna have to earn the cape in game, because it says it's like locked behind a paywall. But I know there are no paywalls in this game. So let's see if we can get these guys lined up. No, knocked down. Don't like that. We're gonna want Mez defense right away. So that guy shooting me, the buckshot, or the fallen gunner, was taking my defense down enough that my defenses were almost may as well not been turned on, because those bullets decrease your defense. But it snaps back once the effect wears off. Alright, so we can get rid of sprint for now. So these are lieutenants. They're tougher than minions. You can see our fury bar is built up to about 36%. We do some nice damage when it's that high. It's going to be very hard to build fury at low levels, because you can't just continuously attack. We don't have a closed attack chain. But we will have a good closed attack chain in a few levels, you know, by the time we're level 20 or so. It probably will not be fully closed and perfect until after we have single origin enhancers on it. And of course, what you really want are the really high level powers, which you can't get to a high level, of course. So it'll be a while before this character is as effective as a brute really can be. But she's doing pretty well right now, and I am really loving being somebody who can just beat the crap out of whoever she encounters. I've done this mission a few times. You can also see this without any narration on the speed playthrough, the speed run I did of a what was it, a kinetic brute? I can't remember. Savage melee? I can't remember what the primary it was, and the secondary was bio armor or something. So we've leveled up. That means this whole mission will be easier. And we're 3rd level already, guys. Not even trying to do a speed run, just playing the game. Half an hour, we're already level 3. Obviously, leveling at higher levels doesn't go that quickly. It might take you 5 or 6 hours of gameplay to level up at the higher levels, maybe more. Look at that, one shot. Awesome. It does awesome damage. Alright, so we found an artifact full of dark magic. So we need to get back. Now, normally I beat up all the bad guys in a mission, but these guys keep respawning. Because I don't know if this is an instance mission. This may be an open mission that anybody can get into. But in any case, they keep respawning, so there's really no point to like trying to clean it out, because you can't. You literally can't. So I'm just going to head out. These guys are also blue cons, so it's really not... It's not super engaging to fight blue cons. They're too weak for a brute, even at this level. Look at that one shot. I love that. This, the sound effect and everything. I am so psyched to be playing Dark Melee. Again, I very much enjoyed my Mastermind, but this is my bread and butter, guys. Scrappery kind of play. And somebody wants me to join them for Adamaster. So hang on while I... how do you do reply? Backspace? Yeah. Sorry about to log off. I have no interest in doing Adamaster or any other group stuff. I'm just enjoying the brute lock. And I'm gonna get jumped by these other guys. That's okay. I'm a brute. I like beating guys up. Oh, you're green cons? You gotta be kidding me. They really should have programmed the green and blue cons to run away from you, or at least not jump at you in the middle of the street like that, because to them, I'm like an orange con, or like an orange boss. Why would you try to jump me? Alright, we're going to talk to Matthew, we'll level up, and then we will stop for the evening. So I found an artifact, looks like it belongs to Magi, and he says, great. The Magi Vault in Galaxy City was destroyed, but there are a lot of them around, so we'll go and hand it off to Magi. And so let me tell him that these guys are using cursed artifacts, and he says, you're right. And then we're going to ask, what happened to your wife? And he says, my wife, Nelson told you, I'm guessing. Well, we were in Galaxy City, Dana and I, when the incident happened. We were trying to get out. When a bunch of those monsters separated us, these are the Shivans, I distracted them to give us a chance to run. We split up, but I thought she would make it to the evac point. When I arrived, she wasn't there. I tried to wait for her, but Longbow and Vanguard reported there were no survivors and took us all away. So what's next? He says, well, I think I have an idea on what you could do next. What you have in mind? And he says, we need to find one of the Hellions' bases. So we're going to do that. We're going to have to disguise ourselves as a Hellion and go in and see what their plan is, but we won't be doing that tonight. Oh, look at that. All these juicy enhancements. But let's go ahead and level up first. We train up to a new level of power, and we get 2 slots. Even building. That's what I like. So now, enhancers. Most of these are probably useless because they're first level. There's no point to putting defense on kinetic shield. We need an endurance reducer on it. I mean, I guess I could put an accuracy in Shadow Maul. It improves it by 6%. That's okay. And I guess we can put a recharge on it for now. And then we can up the recharge so that it's not quite as yellow to us. It doesn't really help a lot, but there's no point to worrying about it or hoarding it because we have tons of influence we can send to ourselves from our other characters if we need it, which we can use to buy enhancements. Alright folks, I think we're in good shape. I hope you've enjoyed. I absolutely have. I'm glad to be back on the hero side and glad to be doing melee. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes on the Rebirth server.